Hey guys, it's saying that we're live. This is, I think, my first live stream on YouTube, so this is a little bit different for me, but I'm hoping that it'll all be recording for you guys to be able to access later. For this live stream today, I was really hoping to get into covering the creation of set lists for live performances. As some of you may know, I do live performances at open mic nights around my local area. Most of the time, the open mic nights I attend are very casual, laid back, super chill, super inviting, and welcoming to anybody who is just starting out to branch out into the music field and just kind of wanting to hang out with other musicians and get a feel for the surrounding area and maybe growing as a musician. So it's a super great place for those of you guys who are like just starting out. I highly recommend going to your local open mic nights. But for some of my good friends, I have made like hour drives, half-hour drives just to go and support them at their open mic nights or their gigs and things like that at different venues, and they do amazing. I absolutely love the people that I have been so fortunate to have been able to meet at these. I've actually taken lessons from one of them, and it's been really nice to have a community of musicians who supports each other and like is local, and we can kind of like bounce ideas off of each other. At our open mic nights, a lot of times we will perform originals, sometimes even originals that haven't been put out. So like, yes, I perform some of the originals that are out already on my album that's out on like Spotify and everything, Faded Away. Other times I will be performing covers of different music and things like that. Some people like to showcase brand new originals that they haven't even published yet, which is really exciting because I love to hear something that nobody else has gotten to hear yet. So that's also super exciting. But I just kind of wanted to get into how I go about setting up the set lists for those live performances, because a lot more goes into it than I think people kind of realize. And if you're an upcoming artist like I am, then it can be a little bit overwhelming at first, but I kind of want to ease your anxieties about it, I guess, and make this a little bit more welcoming for those of you who haven't gotten to experience it yet. So, yes, this is my handy dandy binder. This is what I put together, a whole bunch of my different music that I've been working on, some of my originals, all that kind of stuff. I pop it all in this binder, and I'll kind of show you. I really wanted to have it better organized. I had this whole dream on how I was going to have everything organized, but it didn't really work out quite that way. Not how I was expecting for it to work, which happens, and that's totally a-okay. But is kind of all of the things I was hoping to have in this specific order, so I could just flip to the page of whatever it was someone wanted me to perform, or maybe when I was making my set list, the order of which I wanted to perform, I could have it all just perfectly in order. And then something that I struggle with as a performer is I have a few different songs that are on different instruments. So if you follow my channel at all, you'll see that I play mainly ukulele, but I also have songs where I'll be playing guitar or trombone or clarinet or whatever is going on in the moment. Flute. I have the cover of The Witcher on flute and things like that. I personally am someone who loves to play a lot of different instruments. But when you're doing live performances, it can be a little bit hard to flip back and forth through your binder because you're like, okay, so this one's a ukulele song, this one's a guitar song, this one's only got flute melodies or whatever it is that you have in there. So personally, what I'm doing to organize it a little bit better. Okay. So it says set list up here. I don't know if you guys can read this, but then I have it sectioned out into like I have a section for my originals. I have a section for covers and then things that I'm like not perfect at, but still kind of learning and trying to work my way into being able to perform for covers. All of the ones that are highlighted in blue are ones that I have printed out and ready to go and like readable in my binder. And then over here, as you can see, there's ukulele. These are my songs that are ukulele. So I have them in that order of ukulele. And then I've got guitar and I have it in that order of of guitar. It doesn't stay perfectly organized. Just last night at one of my open mic performances, I had someone say, "Oh my gosh, you sound so great. You remind me of Adele." And I was like, "Oh, like, first off, thank you. Very sweet. Big compliment. Love Adele." But I was like, I don't have an Adele song in my binder, but I know some of her music. So I was like, I'm just gonna like while at this performance, write out the chord changes and the lyrics and everything. And somewhere in here, I just popped it into my binder so that I could run up with it and perform real quick. Which I don't necessarily recommend. I was more just doing that because it was a new audience member who like was getting really excited about it, which kind of got me excited about it. So I was like, I would love to be able to do this for her. Ironically, she actually left right when I got finished writing it and was about to perform. And I was like, shoot, missed opportunity. But I have it in my binder for the next time maybe she comes back or the next time I just feel like I really want to perform it. But I'll kind of show you what that looks like. Chords. I'm just going to be straight up. I'm a 4-chord cowboy type musician. But I did Someone Like You. You can see that there. This right here is going to be one of the ones that I print off from. But there's a bunch of different websites that you can use. I know there's like ukulele tabs, guitar tabs. Personally, I really love the guitar tabs app, which is what I was gonna mention to you guys. It has a bunch of different like recommended chords and things like that for the different songs, and there's different versions you can go into if maybe you don't know all of the chords for a specific song. It also has like the lyrics and everything. A lot of the times the chord changes will be posted right above the lyrics, which is super helpful when you're trying to learn a new song or follow along with it. But uh, I believe it's just with the premium. So don't quote me on this, and I'm not sponsored. But with the Guitar Tabs Premium, I have been able to go into the songs that I'm learning and print out the actual chord changes and progressions. I'll show you a little bit of what that looks like. So, this one right here is the Lumineers. This is Cleopatra. You can kind of see, if I get it really close, uh, I was Cleopatra, I was young and an actress, but it has the chord changes over the lyrics that you're going to be singing. I don't know if this is mirrored for you guys. It's mirrored for me, so I'm hoping that you guys can actually read it. But if not, I think you guys can kind of get the premise of what I'm saying. But having those chord changes over the lyrics that you're doing is so helpful, especially when you are still learning the song and you don't have it memorized yet. Because a lot of the people who go up, they have their guitar and that's it. And they're like, I'm just going to go up and with my guitar and play all this music. I'm like, that's great for you. However, I I don't spend hours every day just working on my guitar music. I have another job, I have classes I'm taking, I have like a whole bunch of stuff I'm doing. I'm a social person. I go out with friends. I would rather do that than sit at home playing guitar for hours all day every day. Which if that's something you wanna do, more power to you. Like, I'm honestly impressed with those who can have all of their music memorized, like, goals. And I'm getting my working my way up to it for sure. There's some songs where it's like, I really don't need to look at this, but when I get up on when I'm on stage, I guess I get you could say it's stage fright, I guess. I mean, I'm not necessarily scared, I just get really easily distracted. So it's like if I'm trying to make eye contact with people in the audience, and they're I don't know, singing along or something, that gets me more excited, and then I'll be like, "Yeah, I can play this," and I'm not gonna be paying attention to my music, and then I'm like, I mess something up, and then the whole mood's just ruined, and I'm like, "Why did I do this? Why did I think that I could get into this when I just can't?" And which makes it a pain, it really does, but it's fun. If you are one of those people who gets very easily distracted, especially by audience or loud noises or a baby crying or a chair slamming on the linoleum because I've had these things happen during my performances. It's so helpful to have the binder in front of you with the chords, with the lyrics. So if you're starting to hiccup, you can look at your page and be like, okay, yeah, and then keep going, as opposed to like, end it here. Thanks, bye. Because I've also had times where I'm like that because, performances, it happens. Yes. So, I don't know if you guys noticed earlier when I held up my binder, but I have these chip clips up here in my pages. And as I mentioned before, our sets when we go up to perform are normally about 3 to 4 songs per set that you go up with. Um, some people have everything perfectly planned out and rehearse it and everything before they even go to the open mics. More power to you, especially if you're in a group. I highly recommend rehearsing before going to perform. It makes a world of difference having been able to have performed this like whatever song it is with the person that you're going to be performing it with, because you kind of pick up on each other's nuances beforehand. When you're trying to do it in a brand new setting with like an audience and you don't really know who the other musician is and stuff like that, it can be very difficult. Can be very fun. I have had a lot of really good times at open mic nights where someone's like, "Hey, come riff on this with me." And I'm like, okay." And I mean, I do harmonies and stuff like that and just mess around. And I mean, as long as they're good with it, I'm good with it. But I think everyone kind of is in the understanding of like, we're all new musicians here. We're all just here to have a good time. And I think that makes it a really welcoming environment, makes it a lot easier, less pressure. Like if you mess up and stuff like that, it makes me feel a lot better at least. Hopefully I'm not like ruining it for everybody else. But I haven't had any complaints so far. Everyone's been really chill. So yeah, that's been super great as well for performances. Chip clips. So the reason I have those in there are with the 4 songs when you go up, I generally before I get there or when I very first get there, if I know I'm like not up next or anything like that, I'll flip through my pages and I'll choose the first 4 songs that I want to do. So in that, I like to start with a high energy song. I kind of work my way down because I have a lot of chill music and I know I'm working on it because a lot of the venues are loud and everyone's like, you got to sing out, you got to have a loud voice and get people's attention. So I'm working on that. But not all of my songs are super strong, screaming women songs. Okay. So I go high energy, a little bit lower, maintain that, and then another high energy song to end it off with because I want it to start and end really strong from my sets. So those are going to be like the 4 songs that I start out with. And then depending on how you go about it, I don't know if you guys have original music that you're wanting to go into this with, or if you're solely doing covers, or if you've never really done anything before and you're totally just going up and doing karaoke. Generally, also fine depending on the open mic night. Some don't do that. So definitely check in with like whoever's hosting the open mic night if you're wanting to just sing, because it can be hard to find either someone to do the backgrounds for you, which has happened. There are people who will show up to those and be like, "Oh yeah, like just tell me what the chords are and I'll figure out what the backgrounds are on guitar and let you sing." Totally awesome to do. I love doing that actually, but it can be hard. So just double check with your host, maybe some of the other musicians, and be like, "Hey, are you guys down to collaborate on something? This is something I've been working on." Things like that. Totally awesome. But I start out generally 4 covers, strong, less strong, maintained, and then strong again. And then my next set, my next 4 songs, I'll do a couple of my original songs so that they've kind of got a taste of who I am, depending on what the venue is, of course, because some people just eat and leave. But depending on what the venue is, I give them kind of a taste of my style and everything, songs that they already like, so they're kind of interested. And then I'll do my original songs, which are, I mean, honestly, if you listen to my album, it's very teeny bopper, chicky music because I wrote it as a teenage girl. You know, like a lot of my music is very boys are cute, but I'm socially awkward, which is my vibe. So yeah, and ukulele stuff. But I start out with the covers so people kind of get a feel of what I am. Go into my originals, and then people kind of can connect more with like my story. Like I'll do an introduction to some of my originals, like, hey, this song is for this. This is the kind of feelings I had when I was writing it. And I really hope that you guys can relate or enjoy it. You know, stuff. I'm a nerd. I have a little bit of merch, not much. So don't get too excited. But I have some stickers that I made. I have white, which were like my original brand. I actually worked with a friend of mine on it. And I ended up getting white background ones, and then after a little while and I was like, "Okay, I like having stickers," and I found holographic stickers for my logo that are, like, super shiny. I was gonna say I could grab them for you, but they're across the room, and I really don't feel like getting up because 'cause I'm kind of on a roll. But so I also got these, like, holographic stickers and stuff, so when I see someone in the audience who's like really connecting and like singing along with music and stuff, when I'm done performing, because there'll be other people who are also going to go up and perform because we rotate off and take turns. When I'm done performing, I like to go over to that person and be like, "Hey, I noticed that you were really getting into that. Like, do you like that song?" You know, like kind of start a conversation. That can be really helpful also to get to know your audience. And then I'm like, "Hey, want a sticker?" 'Cause yeah, I'm a nerd, but, it's fun. And a lot of times I'll be like, "Oh, yeah, I love a sticker," and, like, I'll look you up, and maybe I'll follow you on YouTube or, look at your album or things like that. Because I mean, obviously, if you've got them singing along with you, they're at least somewhat interested in either your covers or your original music, and that kinda can key you in that, you know, they're enjoying themselves and they might enjoy what other content that you have to provide or what other your album or your channels or your TikTok. I don't know what y'all are doing, but yeah, it's just nice that it kind of starts out that conversation for your audience and everything. And it kind of gets the ball rolling and it can help you grow momentum. A lot of time I've had audience members recommend different songs for me. They're like, hey, wow, your voice really sounds like this person, or you would be really strong covering this song. Within like the next open mic or so of at that venue, I will try to make sure that I connect with the person who suggested that song. And like, I even have their names written by the songs in my binder sometimes. So I'll be like, hey, I had someone, uh, Brayden, at the last open mic night here, he suggested that I play Oompa Loompa Paradise. I don't think that's a song. I'm just being random. But then I'll be like, "Okay, I'm gonna play this for this person. Like, thank you so much for recommending this for me. I love the opportunity to learn and grow as a musician and learn these new songs and chords and, get to, relate to my audience a little bit better." So, super awesome. This is my go-to for my set list creation. If you guys have any other questions or anything else that you wanna know or learn about, like, performing at open mic nights or getting gigs around town or creating your own set list or working on original music or anything like that, please feel free to hit me up in the comment section below or, like, the community chat or anything like that. Just, yeah, I would love to hear from you guys and get to know a little bit more. If you guys have song suggestions, totally down and open to it. Love to hear them. Yeah, and I hope that that helped you guys at least a little bit. I kind of wish somebody would have told me some of these things when I was first starting out. I was super, super anxious just to even get up there and try to sing one song on my ukulele. There's a big difference between having played ukulele in your room by yourself for a long time and learning your own music and then going out to a place where there's like actually an audience and people like watching you. It can be a little bit intimidating, but honestly, like once you kind of get the hang of it, I mean, you still get a little bit anxious, but once you've done it a few times, you get more in the groove of it and you really enjoy it. It's worth it. Like you get to meet other musicians, you get to really enjoy yourself, and it's a really good time. At least it is for me. And if it's not your groove, you found out because you've actually put in the energy to trying it and you've learned what works for you and what doesn't work for you. And I think that's even better for you than if you'd never given it a shot in the first place. So, yeah, if you have any other questions or anything, or you want to learn more, please, please, please feel free to hit me up because I'm here. Yeah. And without further ado, thank you guys for watching, and I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did and you have any other questions or you want to see more content or you want to be spammed by my cover uploads and things like that, please don't forget to subscribe. Maybe hit the bell notification if that's your vibe. And yeah, everything else. And hit the like button if you found any of this content helpful or any of that. So, yeah, I appreciate you guys taking the time to just chill. Have a good, wonderful life and peace out, Selma Sprouts.